Hi, it's Justin from CanadaWhips.com. In today's video, we're going to cover the Tasmanian Cutback. The Tasmanian Cutback is a move where the whip is swung behind your back, the thong travels over both shoulders, and the whip is pulled out along the same path that it was brought in. Because the crack happens behind your back, it's a very cool move, and it's definitely worth learning if you want to impress your friends. There's a lot of confusion about what the Tasmanian Cutback actually is. Some people will do the Tasmanian Cutback on this side of their body, so the whip will travel all the way around them, and then happen similar to a cattleman's crack on this side. Some people will bend over a lot to get the Tasmanian Cutback to happen, because they might not be flexible enough to get their arm to go all the way up behind their back. Finally, some people will do a kind of cheat Tasmanian Cutback, where they've bent over and they do something like this. But I don't really think that's a Tasmanian Cutback, because realistically, it's just this crack while bent over. For this reason, I'm going to say that the purest, cleanest Tasmanian Cutback looks kind of like this. It's basically just a cattleman's crack that happens behind your back. The reason I like this version of the Tasmanian Cutback so much is because it lends itself to more difficult routines. If I don't have to bend over or turn my body too much, it's a lot easier to predict where the Tasmanian Cutback is going to go, and therefore I can add it into more difficult two-handed routines. So in this video, that's the Tasmanian Cutback that we're going to cover. It's basically just a cattleman's crack that happens behind your back. The first step to learning the Tasmanian Cutback is to learn the swing. I like to do a clockwise swing horizontally before a Tasmanian Cutback, because I find that's the easiest way to generate enough momentum to get the whip to travel up and over both shoulders. It is possible to do a Tasmanian Cutback on a straight line, similar to like a train track behind your back, or even off of the back crack of a fast figure eight. However, this way is definitely the easiest, so let's start with that. Swing the whip clockwise if you're right-handed, or counterclockwise if you're left-handed. In other words, the whip should swing, come over your head, and then point forwards. It feels like the whip is swinging away from you. Once the whip points forwards, drop your arm and bring the whip behind your back. Don't focus too much on getting it to come up, just focus on getting your arm to come behind your back. Once you're confident with that concept, make sure you start bringing your arm up slightly and seeing how high the whip is going to jump when you add a little bit of force. So that's a little bit of force, then a little bit more, and then eventually I'm going to use my whole arm and try and bend my arm so that my forearm is parallel with my spine. That's the position that you want to be in before the Tasmanian Cutback. Flip swings around, comes behind your back, your arm bends, your arm is straight, the thong travels over both shoulders, and then you get the crack. When I first started learning this move, I didn't have a lot of flexibility in my shoulder. And so before and after every practice, I would put my arm along my back and just try and reach my hand up as far as it could possibly go. I would do this on both sides because obviously I want to learn the crack in both hands. Once I felt like I wasn't making progress anymore, I started doing it with a strap. So I would hold on to a strap and pull up and just get that stretch in my shoulder so that eventually I had the flexibility to get my arm all the way up behind my back. Once you can swing your arm out and bring it behind your back, try and get the thong to travel over both shoulders. You don't want it to touch your back at all. You just want it to fly up and end up on the other side of your body, over here. A useful tip to help with this is to keep the handle pointed slightly away from your back. This way it's going to clear both shoulders much easier and it won't hit your body. Once you can get the whip to travel where it's supposed to, now it's time to crack the whip. And all we're going to do is reverse what we've already done. My whip is going to point back out this way. My arm is going to unbend and come out and start spinning the opposite direction it was when it started. So we go in, up, over, then point, and then back out. As you can see, the overhead crack and the Tasmanian cutback work really well together. The overhead crack takes you from counterclockwise to clockwise, and the Tasmanian cutback takes you from clockwise to counterclockwise. Once you're confident with the Tasmanian cutback, try adding it in other locations, like after a cattleman's crack. Or after the back crack of a fast figure eight. Once you're confident, you should be able to add it in anywhere. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. If you want to learn more about whips and whip cracking, check out our website at canadawhips.com.